Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show panel discussion time. We had R. Keith Andrews on an interview, and we got Lynn coming in. Hey there, Lynn.
Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good. Let me check here. I have to check all the mic settings every
Okay.
time, always. Okay.
Yeah, they reset themselves.
Yep. Okay. Got you. Got you. And got you. Okay.
It's good.
Did you hear the first hour?
I did. I was there.
I loved it.
It was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
He
so
has
many
so
people.
much to share.
Right, and
He's just amazing.
I have been encouraging him to write his past lives as short stories.
I wish he
And
would. I think that's
that
a great idea.
right, and in Antarctica, if he has a life in Antarctica, write it. Even the boring stuff because I want to be relatable cuz I something happened after in backstage. I was talking to him and you know how I get on these little rants where I get where my energy starts to jump up a little bit, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
I go, "Da-da-da-da-da-da-da," and I blurt something out that's like kind of insightful. Well, I did that. And it wasn't a big thing, it was a little thing.
Little
I
ones
said,
mean a lot.
right. It's like, here's what I said, right? You can't be late for work because your work is yours. And I'm like, what? And that feeling, like a ping came over. It's one of those
Mhm.
feelings that I have learned to identify as, whoa, this is something. Hold up, this is something. Like,
Oh
someone's about to
yeah.
call you and you feel and they pop in your head like, "Lynn, ring," you call, or, as an example.
Of course.
That
No, this
happened.
this happens, and that's your guides talking to you right out
Well,
your own mouth.
I'm starting to think that the empathy stuff, my guides have a hand in. The stuff about I had them with Raven. I keep having them with Raven. And, uh, I think did I send Raven a link?
You
Did I?
probably
Yeah,
ought
I
to.
did. I did send Raven a link. Okay,
Yeah,
and it was like I had another insight
yeah.
that was my higher self poking that in there because I got close enough to get that feeling and
I bet that.
and get that memory back. Like if and it wasn't like okay, like here when you go to work, you're working for somebody else that and we had talked about,
Well,
the
you've
work
had your
ethics.
moments of working for yourself,
Right, right. But
and there's no
typically,
better feeling than working for you.
agreed. But we were talking about how when you needed something, you traded time, you traded
Yes,
man hours. That's
yes.
something that, and your work is yours. I didn't make that up on the spot. I
No,
pulled it came from somewhere because it came with that feeling. That feeling came along with it. It wasn't
it it when it when you're working for you, it's your time, your integrity, your perfection,
right,
your expertise, your excellence.
right. And
And I use perfection. That's probably not the right word, but the excellence. Doing the absolute best that you have,
right, right.
and that was part of that life too.
Yeah, no question.
Giving everything, giving your
Mhm,
all to a thing. Now it doesn't mean zealotry. It means giving the best you had
right.
because that was your work. That was your trademark.
Right. And I believe it was Discworld author put it like Death was talking to the guy who makes the horseshoes. When you have
Okay.
to be the best, the price of being the best is being the best. Or not the best, but
Yeah.
being good. The price of being good is being good.
Hmm.
Because you have to you're
It's
compelled to do.
also the recompense.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's also the wage. Because if you only give good, if good is what you intend, you don't intend excellence. You don't intend. That's all you're gonna get back.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
just good. If you're just there to collect a check, you're wage slave.
Right.
There's
And
nothing.
right, but that happened behind the scenes.
Mhm.
All the coolest stuff happens behind the scenes because I had gotten my energy up and I was talking to him like I would be talking to Raven.
Of course.
I would talk to her and I would get "Da, da, da, da," and I just start blabbering, but something's there. And it
The two
happened.
guys have known each other for lifetimes. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Is she here yet? No, she's not
No,
here
not
yet,
yet.
right?
Oh, okay.
Because
I won't hear her in the doorway.
I got a big maybe it's just me now, but I get a big sister vibe from Raven, you know?
Mhm.
Not a mother vibe, big
No.
sister vibe.
You know, the vibe I get from Raven is best friend.
Okay,
That would be the vibe I have.
because I get
Uh,
that. Like I talk to Raven like I
I
talk
I
to.
kind of get the little brother thing from you, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
We're
hard
good
to.
friends. We have been for a long time.
Yeah, that those kinds of feelings are hard to nail down, but
Yeah,
um
but definitely have known each other back and forth for years upon years.
yes, because when we met each other, just clicked. I was like,
Yeah,
wow, this is
you know,
this is
you came in the house. You were gonna make a piece for Frank's CPAP mask,
mm-hmm,
and we got started, and we didn't stop for 2 hours.
right. And I didn't stop for a month after I left.
And we knew each other very well by then. I looked over at Frank. I said, "Past life." He goes, "Oh, you betcha." But some people strike you that way. There's some people who have nothing to say,
Yeah, it
because
was
you have no common ground.
right. Um, but yeah, that happened backstage with Keith, and I have a feeling I just don't know. I have a feeling we worked in neighboring departments or something, right?
I think
Me and
maybe he was in charge.
what's that?
I think maybe he was in charge.
Well, he said he wasn't in charge. He said he was in charge of something, but he wasn't like the only guy.
Oh
He
no,
said
he wasn't.
he
Not
said
the
he was
only one.
part of the team and he was part of a team of engineers because I wanted him to dive into his own experience there, right, in Antarctica,
Mhm.
and he lived in Atlantis, worked in Antarctica, which is just
How about
perfect.
that?
That's
They
perfect,
understood that, and when he was talking about how a wormhole worked,
right?
it just folded.
It starts
You
to
know,
click when you have
I was
when
like,
you're
"Oh my god, I understand this."
when you're
You
with
know?
the when you're with the right people, it starts to click, and it
Yeah.
was kind of seamless. But I still didn't understand all of it, but that's okay. I didn't work in his department, right? He dealt with the wormholes. I dealt with the other stuff, right? I was
Yeah,
handing I was handing
you worked with
screwdrivers
a
to
young
Storm.
you worked with another scientist
Yeah, I was
who had
handing.
you were handing tools,
Yeah, I was his
but you were
gopher.
learning.
I was the gopher. But
Yeah.
apparently I learned a lot because I brought it over with me. I got an affinity for honestly, I got an affinity for communications and adapting, and
Uh-huh.
I love tinkering and the creative side of stuff. Obviously, I mean, I'm looking at all these custom
Oh
things that
yeah.
I've made, and but communications, like make it network. Me and Joe had an experience one time. Remember the Mr. Skimmons books?
Yes.
Okay, he needed to get a thumb drive to India, right? A thumb drive, and they weren't big back then. This is 16 gigs or 32 gigs, right? He had
Right.
like 1 gig thumb drive to get, and it was like 512
Yeah.
megs to get to India. And
Yeah,
well,
for to publish that.
right, to get it printed
Mhm.
off at the printer. And he was thinking how to get this thumb drive over to him. And I said, too bad he can't file transfer protocol it over there. And Joe went, He can. I'm like, mm-hmm. It's data. Joe, sometimes it takes a networker. Okay.
Yeah,
And I
sometimes it does.
saved him what $65
Easily.
to overnight a thing. Well, not overnight, but ship it over there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, easily.
and
Air
he and it was
mail, I suppose,
yeah, and it was
that
free.
time.
He used his Yahoo GeoCities thing that existed at the time
Right,
and got the
right.
data over there, and it didn't cost him anything. His normal hosting fees that he was already paying, I think.
I'll bet he chortled all the way to the bank.
Oh well, somebody did.
That's okay with me.
I put that feather in my cap,
Yeah,
okay?
it belonged to you.
Because I thought of it, and I was like,
And there it
Joe,
is. There it is. Excellent integrity,
yeah,
perfection.
and
Yeah.
like, well, thank you. And I was like, Joe, sometimes it takes a networker. Because yeah, he was the engineering part, but I was the one who made the toaster talk to the fridge. Okay.
Right. Oh, you're the there's a joke that goes around. This says, I told my wife a joke. I laughed. She laughed. The microwave laughed. I
Shot the
shot the
microwave.
microwave.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
The
Well,
thing is
Raven.
that we're getting more and more into that kind of technology.
Yeah. Well, I now I know how to do it. I
Yeah,
really do know how to do it, and it's not all. I mean, it takes a
nothing.
method, but talking about toaster, microwave, or toaster refrigerator, or
Mhm.
any devices, right?
Right,
I
any
mean,
smart device has a computer in it.
right. What would they what now I'm talking about like doing it this way, not with a smart computer, but doing it with like,
Okay.
you know, with this junk sitting around. How would I do that? Well, what language would they talk in? I've already got a language or
DOS? I
I
don't know.
no. They I will have thought of what
Fortran?
information.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what information needs to be exchanged, what this,
COBOL.
what that. Those are
Just kidding, trash.
not that.
I am absolutely going to do trash. I know it's not that. It can't be. Because
Oh, and I
those languages are so buried deep in these computers now that the average tech coming out of school doesn't know how to use them.
nope, they do not. No, no, no. DOS, they balk at DOS and they go, I'll have to ask the old guy on the end of the hallway. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's Storm.
right, but getting things to communicate, I have always liked doing that and having things fit into other things. How they all it's
All the
ever
all
since I was a
interface.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since I was a kid. This has to fit into this to make it fit into this to make it fit into this so it can all talk together.
Tetris King.
Something like that, or Legos, right? And I even every now and again I will pick up a building kit just to get some gears going, because I can. It seems like I can lose myself in this, and then the rest of my
And work out whatever problems on your mind.
right, and it helps. Like, yeah, exactly.
I use
But
art for that.
but yeah, we were talking about the day to day life. We covered the generally a legal system and a working system. Like, what do you do for labor? There's no money. It was all man hours for man hours. So it was a barter system, but it was through time. And
Mhm.
um,
And I imagine the time was owed to the whole
yep.
back and forth
And we
so
have
that things
Mr.
can.
Antarctica himself coming back. Welcome back, Keith.
Hi, Keith.
Oh, how we doing there, Lynn? How you feeling?
I'm dragging
Hmm.
a little bit.
You seem
Understandable.
pretty high energy now. Cheers.
Thank you. I'm always excited to come on here. I suppose I may as well just tell you. Next Saturday, my dance card is filled. I am going to have my heart work done on Friday,
Oh,
and hopefully I don't have to stay overnight, but it could happen.
Well, the only thing you're not allowed to do is you're not allowed to die.
You keep telling me that. I need to hear it.
yeah. You're required to be here.
Right now, I'm kind of on the fragile side.
Okay. Well, I'm going to require you to be here.
Okay, well,
On from
you
block.
know what? I was sitting at the doctor's office, and he says, "No, we're going to do this, and you nothing to worry about." And I said, "No, I don't." And I agreed, "No, I don't." You know. And he kind of looked at me. He goes, "You have a very different way of looking at things, don't you?" I said, "You've no idea." So
Talk
it
about
was
the
cute,
understatement of the
and
century.
I demanded my Valentine's Day discount.
Yeah, it's called the understatement of the century.
Oh yeah, well I'm kind of good at that.
But yeah, Keith, that was a great first hour interview. It really was.
It was wonderful.
It really was. I did get a direct request from Kira though. If things turn too much into the research side, she says, "Would you do me a favor and just bail?"
Yeah, well, I
The
won't.
research side, just bail.
Yeah,
Just because that might not be your forte doesn't mean you might not learn something.
No, but it does have a tendency because it goes in a very bad direction most of the time.
there's stress involved, and I don't want to stress him out. I
No,
want
there's no stress.
I didn't
Oh, I
want.
don't know. A couple of weeks ago, we had a minor heart attack because of the non-stress.
Yeah, me too. I enjoyed that.
Enjoy a heart attack, okay?
Enjoy a heart attack. Me as well. I mean, it's all sorts of stuff to learn from it, and a whole bunch of dishy firefighters.
See, I'm really not interested in the ones that show up.
Oh no, oh,
No,
they're nice kids.
I was asked by a client one day if the guy that was coming into her life was hot, and I looked at her and I says, "You know, he doesn't do a damn thing for me."
Yeah, for sure. No, no, I'm looking at the electrocardiogram those guys were running, and it looked bad. And it was too high, of course. And
yeah,
they're all, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I said, why don't you guys just chill out and let me meditate for just 1 minute? Look at that down where it needs to go. Okay. Boom. 1 minute. Got my blood pressure down, my heart rate, the whole works.
Yeah.
I don't like heart attacks. I don't want to participate.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting close to them, too close lately. So I've been doing the little 1 minute, 2 minute meditations.
Yeah, just get your rate down. You know, you can literally bring your heart rate down, but trick is not to go too far.
Right.
The minute you start feeling better, stop. You know, and then see it at a nice steady rate and calm. No matter how many dishy firefighters there are.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, but reflecting back on the first hour,
yes,
that we talked about. Now I want to continue, Keith, at another show if that's okay.
Yeah, that's no problem.
We have much more of the day-to-day life to cover.
Well, you know, day-to-day life, we're just even during his first hour. You got to see some of it, or I should say, hear some of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that first hour was chock full of interesting information about finances and how to get them under control. So that was That was
Hold on.
amazing. That was on his show.
Oh, on his. Oh, I was like,
Yes.
wait a minute, what? Okay, on his.
Yeah.
Right. I was there for most of it. I was driving and doing things in the city.
Yeah. That was a good show, and your books are amazing. You know, they're just little. I shouldn't say little. I should say short. They're very concise and to the point. They don't namdy-pamdy around. They just, here it is.
Well, you know, the reason I built them that way, I've looked at a lot of different books, and it's like do this, do that, and you know, you get a book that thick,
Right, and 150 grand to work off of.
You know, yeah. If you've got 50 grand, this will do wonders.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you got $5?
Well, I do, but I've been saving up, you know.
That makes it difficult to drink.
I know I got something in the couch cushion somewhere. It's all I got. No,
yeah, no, you know, when you start hunting the dog's cushion, now you're scratching. But, you know, it's words for daily living, and I mean, whether it's your finances that are screwed up or how to make a dream work for you, all of those books are amazing.
Yeah, the financial side of it is it seems like we have taken time, like what you were talking about, Keith, taking your man hours, and what we have done is assign them a number based on some kind of arbitrary assignment of value, and people accept that.
Yeah.
And that is and capitalism. Get the numbers up. Well, that has shown to not really work too well. You know,
can only put so many man hours into something.
Yeah,
you know.
But what they have done is taken man hours and assigned them a money value. So some people work for $20 an hour, some people work for 10,
Right.
and they've taken that and enter capitalism. Now, how much money does it cost? Well, an elite business owner, I mean rich business owner, would say, I have 3,000 employees and each one of them makes this much, and breaks down the numbers. So I have this much money going out, and they make me this much. Capitalism. And then,
yeah, but it reduces people. It reduces people so far, because my worth is more than a dollar sign.
Yeah,
exactly. And this was the whole thing. And you know, I was asked when I first laid out my business. People were going, well, how much do you charge for a tarot reading? Well, I charge this. How much do you charge for consultation? I charge this. And they're going, you're charging the same thing for an astrology reading you are for a palm reading. I said, I'm using the same amount of energy. So I'm doing the same damn thing.
Yeah.
So you're paying for my time. Now, the neat part about it, oh, by the way, Buy Me a Coffee has now got sitting in the bank 35.
Awesome.
You know, so we'll see where that goes.
Well, you know, it's not like it's just a donation. I'm hearing myself. I'm not
there
sure
is
why.
some kind of echo going on. Let me check everyone's sound.
Oh, I guess we got to talk for you to check sound.
You had one little issue, Keith. And what are my issues? Oh, nope. Mine are okay. And yours, okay. All right. Let's do some sound checking. How we sounding? Lynn, go ahead and say something for a sound check.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. I believe I hit background noise on delete background noise on yours, Keith, and I think your microphone was hearing your speakers, and it was just a little bit. So
no, we do it.
Given where the microphone sits, and the fact I don't know where the speaker sits, That wouldn't be a shock.
You don't. How do you hear us?
I hear you through the computer.
Oh, there it is. That's why we're hearing background. Okay,
Okay.
we got it.
Hey, Pinky Leader, our my words are failing me. Someone who, never mind. Hi, Pinky Leader. Welcome back to the Quantum Show. Skeptic, our skeptic,
Hey,
our skeptic
and
is
hi
here.
to the chat room. We're glad to see
All
you.
you gotta do, Nathan,
We
is
don't have a show. You know?
you just sit there and look at the screen and go.
Oh, please don't.
Sorry,
No,
Lynn.
we look at the different things that you have written, and the Elderbach Chronicles. Holy cow, that's a ride. Did we
Elderbach
lose
and
him?
No, I'm serious.
I may not be saying him right. I'm not good tonight.
Oh no, you got it right. It's pronounced Elderbach.
Elderbach. Okay. Yeah.
But the funny part is,
those are fun.
you should see this one character. He's just an absolute freaking nut. And I don't even know where he came from.
The depths of your psyche.
Probably. No, there's one character. I don't know how far you've read in The Birth of the Wolf Pack.
I haven't got too far yet.
Yeah. But no, there's a character in The Birth of the Wolf Pack that starts out a wreck, but I'll tell you, by the time she gets to book 3, you do not want to mess with this poor wreck. You'll run into her eventually, but Fran is a captive that gets brutalized before the wolf pack find her. Right. When they find her, they pull her out. And by the time you get to Return to Paradise, you do not want to tick this person off. She didn't heal well.
Or maybe she did. She did not taking it anymore.
No.
It with Atlantis, I was listening to what you were saying about 1 hour, 1 hour given, 1 hour received.
Yeah.
That is a fascinating economy structure. But I was wondering, now, how did they arrange for such large buildings, such amazing technology?
How do they create it, you mean?
How do they arrange it? Because you pay your workers so much for so many man hours. How do you do this? How does that work?
In a nutshell, what they did was took a look, and there was a certain amount of, there was a work ethic involved. If you were working, unlike the people here, I'm working, so I'm standing upright and I'm washing the table, right, for an hour straight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not getting paid that hour, you're getting fired. And that result, you're not eating. Because they know how long it takes. They knew how long it took to do a certain job. Right, the average length. Now, you might be one side or the other.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So no goal breaking.
Exactly.
Welcome back to the Quantum Show, Joe. Sorry to interrupt y'all.
Hi, Joe.
Oddly enough, apologizing for doing your job is kind of weird. Yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, how we doing?
I complain, but I've heard it before.
Yeah.
We were talking about.
It's so bad that you're bored too? How does that work?
Try it again then.
After several weeks of it, after several weeks of it, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, you're bored too, okay? I'm a little bored with being sick myself.
So you get used to it after 60 years of being, almost 61 years of being sick and twisted. You just get used to it.
Maybe it's 67. I don't know. Could be.
I don't know. At 72, it's not worth it.
Yeah, no. Don't even go there. So we were discussing how the economy worked in
I thought
Atlantis.
Well, in Antarctica.
This is supposed to be an Antarctica discussion. And
Well, it's
It
kind
is,
of
but
both.
the intriguing part of Joe is the train. They're intertwined.
And you know that my input on Antarctica is limited. I've got a lot of other military things, but Antarctica is. I was in the middle of the desert. Okay.
Yeah.
Same.
We got lots of beach, just no water.
Yeah, and no need to know.
None at all. Most people are happy just not knowing around here. So.
Well, I found there's 3 types of people in this world. About 1% make things happen. About 4% watch things happen. And about 95% wonder what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Okay,
So-
everybody.
So
Sorry.
there's no.
Like
Okay.
and subscribe if you're here. You're Quantum. Thanks for being here on the Quantum Show. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Anyhow, so 1 hour equals 1 hour.
Yes.
So how does one pay someone 1 hour for having done a job and maybe you're building a building? How does that work?
Oh, that's easy. Whoever's doing the hour to build the job, the person is setting it up. They turn around and have to do, and they've got an hour's job as well to compensate the person for. Now you got to remember when you're starting to look at societal community buildings, i.e., you're looking at an apartment building. Most of the people that are going to be living there are actually pitching in to help, and their payment is they get to live there.
No, that makes sense.
Now the reality is I didn't actually set the system up, so I was kind of, I was going to say victim to it. I was, beholden to the same setup. But if you were having like in today's world, they have something called Habitat for Humanity, where the people that are going to be living there pitch in on the work.
Right.
That's pretty much how that goes.
Joe, you are dinging. Are you working on some other stuff while you're?
No, I'm not working on any other stuff. But this computer hasn't been turned on in a week. No, 2 weeks.
It's updating.
Oh, so updates.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because we're hearing the speakers.
Okay, let's see what we can do about that. Let's see.
See, I was just ignoring it because I always hear things.
Oh.
Me too.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
and it
well,
worries
okay.
me a lot.
Hey, hey, Keith, if someone was to do some work and then would they be in debt, or would the person say I did 5 hours in a couple of days worth of work, right? And it was verified and logged, and everybody was happy that yes, does exist. And could I get a debt from somebody, and they would do something for me, or would I be able to put it off for a little while?
It can be both. Like you'd agree that yes, I will do. I will when you're ready. I will come and do this, and we'll work out the time to do it. But it becomes a priority task.
Okay.
Hey,
Shadow.
Howdy, folks.
Hi.
How's
I
everybody
would
doing
have thought that would be a terrible or terrific amount of accounting, Keith.
Try that again.
I would think that something like that would be a terrific amount of accounting.
And that is where the accountants came in.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the way it's done at my work is hours are pre-calculated, and then the people go to work on whatever it is, and then they put down what actually happened, and they negotiate from there. So would it be similar to that, or would there be an accounting of time person, Keith, there to witness, verify?
One of the accounting jobs was to log people in, keep an eye on what they were up to. Like today in humans, in the human world, your security people are the ones watching for everything else, and your accounting people are the ones tracking numbers.
Mm-hmm.
With the Antarctican city, and with that city, the accounting people were the security people. Okay, they sit there watching the cameras and the engaging. Are these people actually working?
So there were gold breakers even then.
There were, but they were usually terminated.
Okay, so they would just lose their jobs, right? Now that brings up another question, and it's kind of an accounting question. If someone was it pledged, were these people saying, I'll be here for 10 hours today, or I'll be here for 6 hours today, and they would pledge that time, or how did that part work?
Ultimately, it was usually a question, here's the job we've got to get done. Put in what hours you can. Right. And the idea that job became the priority for the day.
Okay.
Yes, you got your free time you get, but most work was done it was always done in 3 shifts. Society was built to work in 3 shifts.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't 3 8-hour shifts. Well, essentially it was. But they had, quite frankly, and this is how it got weird, but they were working on an atomic clock.
Right. Okay.
So they would work 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes your 10 hours would be at night. Sometimes it would be during the day.
Okay.
It would just rotate over.
Okay. So there was, and my next thing would be, now I'm just expanding on the first hour. We're not continuing. This is just discussing what we already covered, right?
Right.
So no spoilers for next week or next show. But so people had and also in the work ethic department, people would put their best foot forward all the time. And
obviously there were lapses on occasion.
Right.
But society was built that you got up and you were on the go. You never saw an Antarctican that was overweight. Okay, mm-hmm. Unless it was medically a reason.
Okay. And also, so these people, but speaking of the ethics, right? The trained ethics, they were not overworked, were they? Like we are now?
No.
Okay.
They were there for X hours. Hold on. Okay. I don't know, Shadow was waving.
Oh, what's up, Shadow? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just waving at Diane. She said hi.
Oh,
Joe's not asleep. He's looking at something that's going on computer.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, don't mind me.
What?
He's moonlighting. Moonlighting off the Quantum Show.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's okay. He's really not here. This is just a figment of our imagination.
Yes, it is. We're all in. We're just in a momentary lapse of entanglement.
Okay. Hi, Shadow.
Howdy.
So.
Oh boy, such enthusiasm.
Yeah. Well, they. Okay. Anyway. Hi, Shadow. Sorry.
No,
we were in the middle. we're in the
I'm
middle of
trying to,
something.
I'm trying
when
to
you walk-
catch up and find out where you guys are without, interrupting. So just carry on.
Well, if you figure it out, let me know, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
So, I'm trying to relate it, right? For me, and I'm kind of working in the Muggle world. Well, definitely working in the Muggle world. Chemtrails, and I wanted
That's sort
to
of like a funeral with a shizu.
something.
Whoa!
What?
You'd had to be there.
Okay, but like
It just
I'm
sounded so familiar.
trying. Well, I'm trying to relate, Muggle life now to what was going on back then, and highlight some differences. So people had a work ethic of they wanted to be there more than just for money purposes. They wanted to be there because
You quantified your life by your work effort.
that sounds very Star
Yeah,
Trekky, and you did it. Mhm.
Well, yeah. Amazingly enough, they actually spent a lot of time in a lot of their life off world before they settled down on Earth.
Mhm. So we're talking about Lanteans. This at this point.
Well, you gotta understand, the Atlantis was the flagship. The other 12 were the support, and when the Atlantis went down, the rest of them sat down to try and repair the Atlantis.
Right. Including that in Antarctica.
The one in Antarctica was full of the what are they called? They were the engine, and I'm trying to remember what the heck the actual term is. They were terraformers. They were the
Okay.
guys that knew thermodynamics and the whole 9 yards. The thing was, Atlantis, that Antarctica had the best access to the thermal vents. So
Right.
it stood to reason that when they sat down, that particular city sat down on Antarctica because they could tap into the energy levels
Mhm.
without actually causing a problem.
Okay, now I have
Given there's
another.
volcanoes and stuff on there, that makes absolute sense.
Mhm. I have another like out of left field question for you, Keith. How much technology, to your knowledge currently, have you seen pop up that came from Antarctica?
Are you referring to modern computer evolution sort of thing?
I'm any technology, computers, construction, biology, environmentalism, any of it. How much have you seen pop up just like we had an innovation that is here now that we're using that came from there?
Some of the volcanism stuff that they've got, I know they made jumps with it, and with the thermal converters, they absolutely had to pull it because they didn't have time. If you take a look at the evolutionary path of modern tech, they didn't have time to jump the thermal modulators.
Mm-hmm. So geothermal, you mean?
Thank you. Yeah.
Geothermal. Okay, some geothermal tech has come from Antarctica.
I would be inclined to say it's been inspired by. I have no doubt they found it. Getting it to run might have been a bit of a problem considering what it used to run on.
Right.
But
they
utilizing it as a template, certainly.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we have geothermal technology that we all know is in use today. And because the movement of heat from Peltier devices, those are geothermal. They're electrothermal, but they're okay. I don't know. I might have
Prezio.
what?
Prezio.
Okay, Joe. One word is not explanation, please.
Preziothermal.
Okay. How do you say that? How do you spell that?
Oh, yeah. I'm the world's worst speller.
Precio? Presio.
No, not PRE.
Is it like?
Pizio,
Are you talking about
look,
piezo?
yeah, Pizio.
Well, that'd be PECIO.
I got you.
Might be PI.
It is on the screen. Is that what the word, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Piezo.
thermal.
Yeah, the transfer of heat from one
Okay.
substance to another creates energy, right? And that's what piezothermal is, I believe.
And would stand to reason, because now here's the thing: what they were using, yes, transferred the heat, but they used the thermal inversion because of the temperature change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now understand, ice wasn't there to start with. When they first landed, the thing wasn't covered in ice, not to that degree.
Right.
That was a side effect of their problem.
Okay. Alrighty.
Although it would have eventually happened anyway.
Right. Okay.
So there was
And
a sort of climate change going on, even
Only
then.
on a local level. The climate change was happening anyway. It just got accelerated because of a hiccup they had in their thermal converter. In
okay.
their geothermal converter.
All right. So we have gotten geothermal technology, piezothermals, from technology from Antarctica. Anything else you can think of?
Well, what I don't know is if they've actually got it yet, but quite literally, it's cryothermal.
What would that be?
Drop the temperature far enough and you'll generate heat.
Right. They
Cryo.
use cryosurgeries even now.
Yes.
You know, where they will use extreme cold to exercise tissue and that sort of thing.
Right. I'm a little bit familiar with that. Not much. Not with the medical side of things, but cryothermal. Okay. And I am.
Basically,
Huh?
what they
Seen it
did was
done.
they looked at the atmospheric agitation brought about by the difference between geothermal and the upper atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Is it similar to like a heat pump?
Ultimately, yes.
Okay.
Only do it the other way.
I
Right.
have
Pull the
heard of
cold
this.
from up there and bring it down as it warms. You end up with one heck of a jump in energy output.
Right.
Oh, makes sense.
Like a monsoon or a
Oh
tornado.
no, that's extremely uncontrolled.
Right, but that is the same. You have warm air hitting cold air or cold air hitting warm air, and you have an uptick in energy, but it
Yes,
just transfers into a different form.
they simply contained it.
Okay.
Now,
Huh.
bear in mind, that was also part of their weapon system.
Mm-hmm.
How so?
Because you bring down that kind of cold air and create that kind of energy output, and then you take the cap off the tube, and all of a sudden, whatever's in front of the tube is going to end up very uncomfortable.
I would suppose so. Doesn't sound like something I'd want to enjoy.
Well,
Right.
that's just it. This is why when I make the comment that humans don't have a clue what they're talking about when it comes to full-out war, they just are not equipped,
Right.
which is probably a good thing.
Right. Our war right now is just whip them into submission. That's basically all it is. And well,
Point and blast.
yep.
How does that
Whip
work? How does that work in a vacuum or outside an atmosphere?
with the movement of heat.
Cryothermal.
Oh,
Okay. Go ahead.
the first thing we got to realize is outer space is not as much a vacuum as mankind thinks it is.
And it's not empty. There
And
is
plus-
matter.
And plus, the side of the spaceship that's facing the sun is extremely hot, and the side of the spaceship that's in the shadow It was extremely cold.
or space shuttle or
Or
space
space shuttle,
station.
whatever you want to put up
Yeah, I'm
there.
trying to bring it
Yeah.
back down to earth. That's all, Joe. So people
Yeah,
can
but Joe's
relate.
on the right side, on the right path, though.
Yes.
Okay, because if you take a look at their thermal converters, you take the heat on the one side and the cold on the other side. When they meet in the middle, all of a sudden you've got a power source.
Hmm.
It's a little more erratic than the OTE drive, but it was the first step before they got the OTE drive up and running.
All right. Well, we will leave the OTE drive alone for now and stick to okay. Geothermal, and we've got piezothermal, and so that's what you've noticed that probably has
I,
come from Antarctica.
at the very least, it was at the very least they essentially worked on a reverse engineering side to get the basics down. I do
Okay.
not feel that they've been able to decipher any of the equipment in its original form. They've had to take a look at how it worked and extrapolate, as it were.
Right. See, like,
Reverse it.
well, when
Ultimately,
you
yeah,
look, when you have a machine and you don't understand how it works, you look at what it does. Like,
yes,
okay, well, I do this, right? And Joe kind of taught me to look at it this way because you don't look at the part if you don't understand the part, where does it fit? What does it do? Like,
yeah.
okay, and Joe kind of taught me how to do that while I was going to school because I was
You created a
constantly
monster,
referring to
Joe.
Joe. Sorry, say again.
I said, Joe, you created a monster.
I was constantly bugging Joe on these things, and he's like, "That's not my area."
Guess what it is now.
I don't know anything about Cisco networking.
No, my knowledge was limited because of no practical use for it.
Right, and it was very proprietary. Cisco is
Right.
anyway, but when we did manage, I mean, the component level things, I was referring to all the time, and it helped. Thank you. I
Yep.
don't know if I've ever said, but thank you
Well, you're
for
welcome.
thank you.
The other thing is, if you find something that you don't quite understand, try building your own version of it.
Right.
Yeah,
Seeing what does it do? Like, what do we have that does what that does? Right.
It's like explaining how a mirror can show the past, and you just we finally got science behind us on that, and discovering the evidence that at least at the mineral base level, time is reversible. I hate to disagree with Keith on that, but
Yeah, we're gonna have
oh,
a death match
reversible.
here in a minute.
Reversible is one thing. Now, if you're referring to reversing it as in clearing something up, okay, that's not, in my eyes, that's not the same thing as traveling back in time.
this was more or less being able to see back in time rather than
Oh,
actually travel back in time.
Oh,
never said you can't see. I've always said you can see back in time. This just corroborates it. So we really
Right.
don't have an argument.
yeah,
well-
psychics look back in time quite often. Well, depending on their gifts, of course. But the being able to see back and see what happened, uh, it's almost as enlightening as seeing the future.
Joe, if you could put
Well,
that in the private chat as well, I will amend the show later.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Thank you.
Okay.
oh no, I'm done.
No, I mean, Lynn, you were talking.
I have the
Okay.
I didn't know I was talking. How
That's all,
about
folks.
that? Oh, what I was saying about the about psychic that look behind. It's looking behind us at things that already happened is almost easier than looking in the future.
Oh yeah.
Quite often it is. But the thing is, if you look at the past of what happened, and this was what they realized, what people realized a long time ago. Okay, if you look at what happened, you can gauge what the outcome of what was done is, thereby making a more educated guess on what a choice now will do to the future. By the way,
Right.
Dave, just to throw a wrench in things, there was another development that I'm absolutely certain came out of that same technological configuration.
Mm-hmm.
The magnetic, and I don't know the term for it, but magnetically generated thermals.
Ah,
makes
magnetically generate the microwave.
Okay.
Microwave ovens.
Yeah, that all came out of the 50s too, didn't it, Joe?
Actually, no. It started way back in the 40s.
Way
Well,
back,
right,
how far back?
Well,
Wow.
both England and U.S. had radar, and immediately afterwards, Germany had radar. So
The radar
you
range.
had to, yeah, you had to have a klystron.
Okay,
in
no,
order.
hold up. Let me. I do realize when radar came around, and that was in the early 40s.
Right.
Okay, but
Nathan,
yes.
could you turn up Joe's microphone? We can barely hear him.
Okay, let me. I turned it up some right there.
All right. Let's try that.
Yeah, now I
Better?
can hear
Okay.
Now you can hear me growl.
it.
Okay. Now we're talking about generating heat from microwaves. Radar didn't do that, right?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's just that they didn't point it at something that would cook. Okay.
Okay.
Anytime you get up to those frequencies, yes, with any sort of energy at those frequencies, you're going to cook something.
Isn't that how they discovered the use of it? Was the men working on it found out that their chocolate bars were melting when they
Not
were
chocolate
working?
bars. They were taking hot dogs and steaks and putting it out in the field in front of the radar.
Because I had heard that they were working in the lab, and one person or somebody or multiple people had like an old fashioned, a Hershey bar in the aluminum wrapper, and found that their Hershey bar was melting when they were getting near.
If they had it in aluminum wrapper, have you ever put aluminum into your
It would have caught
microwave?
on fire.
Well,
Yeah.
you gotta remember the original wrapper wasn't fully aluminum foil. It was
even if it had a percentage of metal to it, it would arc and spark and
yeah, but it looks so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I did
Oh,
that
if you
by
think
mistake
that's
one
fun, put a
time.
spoon
yeah,
in
same
one.
here.
I did.
I've seen
Quite
those,
by accident. It was a
molds.
fork, but quite by accident.
You know, what's even more fun is to put a microwave inside a microwave.
Oh boy!
No, what's a lot of fun is put a glass of pure water, ionized pure water, deionized pure water, and put it in the microwave and let it cook for about 5 minutes.
I hate
and
to
drop
state
a spoon in.
I hate to state the obvious, but you do realize with some of these little experiments we're talking about, some genius out there is going to try them.
Oh no, don't do it. Don't try that one. I guarantee that's a world of pain.
Yeah,
do
spoon
not
one.
want to do. If he's bringing up that, just take my word for it. Leave it alone.
There is a reason there is a Darwin Award.
Ah, gee.
Okay, so microwaves were not derived, but okay, all right.
Okay, well,
Birds,
they were around that early. But
right? Okay, now
how long did it take for them to actually get commercialized?
I have
You
no
had
idea.
had to be able to build the box that would contain
right.
radio
Honestly,
waves that are
We
so
had
tiny.
one. We had one in the '60s, and they weren't new. They weren't
well,
a new idea. Well,
Joe,
there's Storm saying a microwave inside a microwave is like a bag of holding in a bag of holding.
Only if you turn them on.
I've seen it.
I mean, they're fine if you don't plug either one of them in.
right.
Well,
So-
what would the
Good
fun be
point.
in that?
Who
Where's
had?
the fun in that?
I don't have notes in front of me, but who had radar first, Joe?
The
England,
first guy to
actually.
build it.
England.
Yeah.
I'm
They
gonna go out
noticed.
on. Huh?
They had television signals reappearing after years.
Right. Because they were like bouncing off of something out there and coming back.
Right. And so it didn't take their scientists too long afterwards to go, how did this happen?
I was gonna come out with an outlandish idea, but I'm gonna leave it out there in the outlands.
Might be just as well.
What you say makes sense. Because I was gonna say something about birds trip there, and then the Nazis were there first, but I'll leave it alone because debunked. It was a neat theory, but debunked.
Okay,
Right here on the
well,
Quantum Show.
We always call it debunked when we push our brother off the upper bunk.
yeah.
Debunked.
But
And kick him out from underneath. I know about that one.
yeah. Now, as far as the U.S. is concerned, we actually started making practical use of it because Stanford University, somebody at Stanford, came up with how to build the klystron in a way that could be used for microwave purposes. Otherwise, it was a television set.
Here we have something. Moody Mongol, welcome to the chat. Thanks for coming by the Quantum Show. Moody is saying Ukraine had radar first, then Germany stole the design. The Brits were researching Tesla's death ray, but instead invented their radar system instead. Okay. Well, I don't have a book in front of me to verify or deny, so
No.
Okay. Well, let's see.
You've got the internet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when I'm going to the internet
Probably
right
how
now.
he
But
picked it up.
it's
Just connecting.
Stanford. Yeah,
Go ahead.
it is Stanford University that made it first practical one. You know.
Okay, well, that does not contradict Moody's statement. So made it practical. They took somebody else's design and made it practical. That makes sense to me so far.
Yeah, made the klystron, which is the tube you need in order to continually broadcast at those frequencies.
Okay. Moody Mongol is saying it is not a well-known connection. Please send me a link if you would on I've got links to email me, Instagram, all the socials, Facebook. I think we're on Facebook, right? We're on Facebook. And send me a link. I will amend the show as relevant, and I'll look it up too because I'm interested in that stuff. And okay,
even
now,
Wikipedia has it as Stanford. So
okay. Well, Wikipedia. Okay, I mean, you can also say Wikipedia. The Hindenburg was taken out by a Klingon bird of prey, and I've done that to Wikipedia. Of course, it didn't stay up very long, but I did it.
Well, and you know, with some of the stuff is just wantonly misinformation too.
Right. So anyway, okay, so we've got geothermal, and a tech come from there because, and you have provided a nice line of logic that our development of technology hasn't gotten to that point yet, but all of a sudden we have it. Piezo, geothermal, piezoelectric, geopiezo.
Ultimately, yes.
Okay.
Okay, the first microwave as we know it, the radar range, was sold in 1947. And the American engineer, Pierce Spencer, is generally credited with inventing it.
Okay. Radar. Right. The radar system still
Radar
does not
range.
contradict, right? Still does not contradict.
No, we're talking
Okay.
about the microwave.
Okay. The microwave, as in, all right,
Radar
back up.
range.
Radar range.
As
Okay.
in cooking, yes.
Okay.
That's what they originally called, was the radar range.
Okay. So, still does not contradict. Very interesting, and not from Antarctica. So, debunked.
Yeah, but no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh,
We don't know. We don't know what they found down there in Antarctica. The idea of making a tube with a bunch of holes on the side of it just didn't sound quite right, according to engineers at the time.
okay.
And
Well,
I think you've seen a klystron before, and it's a strange tube.
yeah, I have. It's been a while, but yeah, I have.
I think I had one at the shop.
I don't remember. It's been a long
Mm.
time.
No, I didn't have one at the shop. No, I didn't. No, it didn't exist.
The shop didn't?
No, the tube that was at the shop. What
Oh,
was
okay.
Classified. Can't talk about it. It's classified.
Meep, meep. Yeah, we've come quite a long way in the last 60 years.
Okay,
You know,
y'all were talking over each other. What? We've come a long way, 60 years. Keith, what were
yeah,
you saying?
we have. I mean, I grew up on a farm. Our method of water, we had a pump at the sink, and that's not an exaggeration.
No, that was one of these thingies.
Yeah, we did. And we had the joy of a indoor bathroom, although my aunt didn't have one. But we lived in very rural Ohio. It was really back that far at that time, and that's during the end of the 50s, early 60s. So you take that bit of time and fast forward it 60 years, and look at us. I mean, we raise Cain because we don't have a heated towel.
Mm-hmm.
Try making it out to an outhouse in the middle of the winter. No.
Yeah,
A lot of
I've
times you
done
never
that.
got that far.
I've done that. This is a
I have to.
klystron from Google Images. Let me
And
see.
what is this critter?
It
Oh,
is
here, I thought that came from Doctor Who.
They probably had one, or
Oh, that's an old one.
yeah. That is one. I didn't read the article, but that is something that came up as a klystron. And
Okay.
I see there's a transformer there, and this is a klystron flange cover. I will say yes, I can say that for sure. It is a flange cover because it says it right on it in Sharpie. It's official.
So
See, now all
official.
we gotta do is find out where they put the duct tape.
Yeah.
Well,
And the
there it
Pringles
is.
can.
Right around where they put those two waste baskets together.
Yeah.
Okay, and this does not agree with our young fellow, but there were not powerful microwaves until the beginning of World War II, and the first klystron tube was by Russell at Stanford University in 1937.
Okay. Oh, we have more from Moody Mongol. I will go ahead and bring it up here and read it out loud. Moody Mongol says Watson Watt, UK radar inventor, was really researching the Tesla death ray. This is the reason radar history is shadowy. He continues, there are weapons research and radar history that the general public are unaware. I really wish Weird World War II was here at the moment.
Oh
The
yeah.
Germans used directed energy weapons, basic, simplistic, in World War II. All that research info is still quiet. I did know about that. I did know about
I
that.
did too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
tried to shut down our engines of our airplanes by beaming microwaves at them.
Yeah, they didn't work like that at the time. They worked on a chemical
Would
level.
that have affected the pilot? Would he have gotten a burn or fried
Yeah.
or what?
At the concentration you would need to fry somebody, no, you couldn't get that powerful up there.
What about the engine that they were aiming for?
Even
It
more. You
wasn't.
would need you would need
Yeah.
even more power.
Right.
Because you have a shield, a hood around the engine.
Right.
You know, they tried, but you know,
Yeah, they were
The
made
great
of metal.
idea didn't work.
right.
Right, they were made of metal. Now, if they were made, it was a solution without a problem.
But you know, it turns out that Hertz
yes,
was also one of the people who first studied the. Well, he was studying the similarity between light waves and radio waves, and he was testing Maxwell's theory. And he did actually work in the microwave range, only 450 megahertz, but he still got up there.
Huh.
So, you know, it's been around for a while.
I
Mhm.
guess so.
And Hertz was German.
Right.
Okay, now let's see. I'm trying to keep up with something with the chat too, so because this is the part of the show. And okay, I just got your chats. American Percy Spencer and Hertz. Yeah, I see you in the comments over there. Okay. And
There's
about
a lot of history that just really doesn't come up to the public view about technologies in, say, World War One or World War II. I mean, just
Well, they
it's
were
no
top
question
secret.
Not, well, they don't know the questions either.
right. It's
Yeah, but-
it's really but okay, it has been over an hour. I'll be right back. Watch for ghosts.
Watch for ghosties. Okay.
I was going to steal
Getting coffee. You doing okay, Keith?
The system's starting to crash, which isn't surprising since I'm only working on, let me see, an hour and a half sleep, I think, today.
I think maybe you're tired.
It might be. Yeah, my last week, you know, I kept telling myself I wanted to start sleeping through the night, which is great because I was getting 5 hours between midnight and midnight.
Mm-hmm.
But I was doing it in 2 or 3 runs. I'm now sleeping through the night. I'm now only getting about 3 hours a night. But I don't fall asleep between, you know, when I get up in the morning when I'm packing in.
Yeah. I don't know. I need the rest.
Under the circumstances, I'm surprised you didn't need it earlier. But I am glad to see you're functioning better.
I'm doing all right, little by little. You know, it just at this point, the storm is sitting on me. You know, he won't let me go anywhere or do anything. So
Understandable. He's trying to keep you alive for a little longer.
I think that's what it is. It's annoying.
And then we got a storm outside that's sitting on us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always helpful.
What sort of storm? Because I don't think it's doing anything here.
It's
Dust?
gathering the clouds right now.
Okay. Well, if you're having rain, I don't want any.
Hey, I live in the donut hole.
You're not gonna get rain either.
Well, at least you don't have any problem if there's, you know, shall we say, illegal activity going on, there should be enough people showing up for you.
Well, the donut hole is sort of a environmental phenomena, huh, Joe?
Yes. It can be raining north of me. Well, it can be raining all around me, and it doesn't rain here.
You
I
know
live
what
in
the
a
funny
valley,
thing is,
I get
Joe?
the same thing.
So do I. There is
Really?
literally an area that is about 2 blocks north of me. Well, 2 blocks, I don't know if it's north. 2 blocks one direction, about 3 blocks the other the side directions, and about 6 blocks south, where it can be you can have a snowstorm and we'll have sun.
Yeah, and I live in one too. It's just it's like a 3-block area that everything could be raining all the way around us, down the valley, the whole bit. We don't get it.
Yeah. It's
But
weird. I
when we
like it.
do get it, we get it good.
See, I like the way that, and that's a really bizarre coincidence between all of us. You know that?
Yeah, well, I didn't name it either. My next door neighbor named it.
No, but the fact is, it matches the weather patterns for all of us, which is the weird part, or the quantum part. To call it what you will.
I'm not sure I understand Einbecker Mut gegen ein mehr Wahlwegheit. I'm sorry, I butchered it. I apologize. I'm not sure what you're asking us about. Can maybe phrase it differently? Frank, you speak German. You want to read that? Frank? Oh, okay. Say again,
Well,
please.
Sailing around what?
Right.
We're not sure what he's asking us for. Wait
He
for a
wants us to
moment.
sail around
He's-
something.
He's probably reformulating. Because, okay, Einbecker, go ahead. We'll wait for you.
See, I'm not actually in the chat room, so I'm completely hooked on that one.
No, it's all right. When you look at your screen, you'll see private chat and comments. If you tap your cursor on the comments, you'll see it.
I see. I just gotta drag it over onto a bigger screen. Oh,
Greg speaks excellent German. He'll try to figure this out.
Well, I don't know about the cup of courage against the sea of cowardice.
Yeah. I don't speak good enough to say I even speak it.
Might as well be saying drink more beer.
Probably.
I can see there being
He
a lot of
might
arguments
be
with most
saying
people.
that, but that's really not what we're concerned about. He's asked us about this
Getting a measurement of going around something. I don't know what it
I
was he wanted.
suspect he means Antarctica.
What did I walk back
He's
into?
German fella living in Philippines.
Okay, that
And
is
he was
Becker.
Yeah,
Yes.
he wants us to get on a ship and go around Antarctica, I guess.
Well, I think does he mean Antarctica or the planet? Because I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about flat Earth?
Yeah, well, I still don't understand what he said by it. Okay, we're guessing on what it is.
Around
Give him a minute. I think he's probably trying to put the sentence
Okay,
in a
Frank.
translator.
Frank has said
Yeah, he's
that
translating. So
his name is a cup of courage against a sea of cowardice.
So did I.
Yes, you did.
okay,
Mhm.
what?
That
Oh,
doesn't
that's the
translate the message.
translation of the name.
In other words, go get a beer.
Oh, the name translates into a cup of courage against the sea.
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
Yes.
why
Now you
would
have to see
why would
Mason.
I want to start crowdfunding for a project? Is sailing around it. What is it?
I think he means the planet, and he's trying. He says, "Wait, I'll try it again." I think he's using a
Mhm.
translation program. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm
Clearly.
caught up.
Well, we'll wait on you. You know,
Okay.
we'll try to answer it at the time.
So Keith,
I didn't do it.
have you ran going back to Antarctica and your personal experience, right? Have you ran into anyone you worked with here that you're sure? Now, no spoilers for anybody in the room if they're not already spoilers, right? But have you run into
That I'm
anybody?
now aware of, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Although I've never met them in person.
Okay. All right. Well,
At least as far as I know, I've never met them in person.
okay. Next question about relating now to then, right? Have you noticed any tendencies of either ethics or behaviors or anything that you know came from the ethical behavioral mindset of people back then in Antarctica who lived there?
And that came from them and is propagated now.
Yes, that they brought with them, like subconsciously or whatever. Yes.
And you want me to remain non-derogatory, right?
Well, hold up. Let me back up a little bit.
Aren't you always that way though, Keith?
I try.
Yeah.
You
So-
try to be derogatory?
No,
No,
I'm
that
good.
comes naturally.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
okay.
go with you have seen some very bad behaviors from people that came from there that time, right?
Oh no. No, the people, the behaviors of the people from back then don't translate into today's survival.
Okay, yeah, that was I should have
Huh.
thought that question through because it was a totally different mindset back then.
Completely different mindset.
Would you equate it to maybe a hive mind more so than individualist?
No. A hive mind means they would think all in the same way. But society in their world, society said, you get up in the morning, you're on the go, working, helping with the greater community, always. Okay, if you were awake for an hour, you were on the go for an hour. And yes, there were those that would take time off. Absolutely. You know, it wasn't perfect by any means. But there was none of this. And literally, there was none of this. The world owes me. Okay, the mindset just didn't exist.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm Becker's trying again here. You were
Yep.
speaking about Antarctica, but we are all sure there's some strange things going on. Big they, are hiding the truth. They say it's the South Pole and not the ring around our Earth area.
Okay, let
Now,
me yes. However, let me back away from that question because we will cover that in a research show. This is not that show today because we want Keith Andrews to stick around for the
yeah,
show.
yeah,
Research, we're talking his personal experiences and
right.
well, in all practicality, I do it too. If I got nothing to contribute, I'm like, I'm out. I'll see you. Thanks for having me. Click. And so I don't want that to happen today. It happened once and I don't want it to happen today because
On the plus side, and I really do appreciate that. On the plus side, I'm not going to be able to stick around much longer anyway. Like I said, I'm working on an hour and a half sleep yesterday. This week, I've been averaging about 3 hours.
okay, well, Keith, I will go ahead and say good night because you need your rest. I know
Well, have a
you're
good evening,
I know
Keith. Thanks
you're
for
big
coming
badass
through.
Atlantean, but we all gotta sleep.
And this much I found out the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that to
Okay.
recuperate.
But at least this is a case of calling it a night because, well, frankly, my system is tanking on a energy level, not because of a topic.
Okay, right. You've been up and running. You've got that Atlantean mindset. You're up and you're going. So
Yeah.
you're with the Muggles today, this life. So enjoy the
Okay, no, guys, I do
What is a
appreciate it.
muggle?
You're seeing a riot.
Take care, Keith. See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you, Keith. I'll talk to
Oh,
you soon.
absolutely. You take care, guys.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
Now
Yeah,
we can talk
we'll
about the conspiracy
definitely-
theory.
Yeah, we'll definitely get back to that concept. Maybe one of us need to write that down. I'm
Okay.
not the right one. I can't see it well enough.
I ain't going where it's cold.
Right. Well, we'll
I
bring.
ain't going down there.
I'll bring.
No,
experts.
when I say the research part, you know, our friend Raven has done an awful lot of research
Mhm.
on at the Atlantis connection to Antarctica,
Mhm.
and can quote some of those trickier numbers. So, definitely pop through when she's on, because
Yeah.
you're planning on basically a series of shows about Atlantis, right?
I'm not planning on it, but that's the way it seems to
The
be
way it's
working
running
out.
right now.
That's
Yeah.
it's I'm everything is Atlantis for the past 3 shows.
Yeah.
And speaking
Yeah,
of our
Raven.
lead researcher, boots on the ground.
Yes.
Here's Raven.
Perfect
Raven,
timing.
I don't know if you saw what we were doing here a little earlier. We were trying to answer a question from the chat from I'm Becker Moot
Yeah, we're just
Ge-
saying Becker.
Gegen ein Mir von
Okay, can I ask about
Bigheit?
a project? What I'm thinking about to prove the size of Antarctica. Oh, the size of Antarctica. Okay. Well, we've already done that. I mean, we don't need. I don't disbelieve the cartography of Antarctica at this point. I don't disbelieve it. Let me see.
Plus, we have polar satellites. Ham radio especially
Yeah.
uses them. They go from they go north to south, and then they come back on the other side of the world, and they come back and they reappear in the north.
Right.
So
I
you
and
know,
I do not doubt the current understanding and of what we
Yeah,
have.
the idea that they're the excuse me, the nations of the world are all gonna get together and lie about that when just about anybody could verify it otherwise.
Right.
Other stuff, yeah, absolutely. The governments of the world will team up and lie to us to our face.
Well,
But
there's like
that's
75
such
of
a
them.
little
if I
that's such a
remember.
little detail. It's not worth the
Well,
coordination.
no, it's provable because you can cross-reference and you can prove it using a variety of independent sources of scanning and cartography and pictures and hell,
Right.
flight plans, and shipping
Figure it-
routes.
Yeah.
So we don't need to physically do that now since we have other means, and I can't say I dispute them because they all agree within, parameters, within, margin of error. And
Yeah.
apparently we have 5.275 million square miles in Antarctica. That's big. Okay,
That's huge.
so the
It's actually
project,
2 land masses.
yeah, right. There are 2 land masses plus, then you got ice, right?
Yeah. And that's what we were telling him, that you were the expert on this more so than the rest of us.
Yeah, you did all the deep
Far
dive.
from an expert. Far
All
from
right,
an
you know
expert.
more about it than the rest of us.
Let me find my notes here.
And Moody is going on some more. The underground seas hidden inside the ice, they have always been an issue for life. I don't know what you mean by that statement. Apparently, we're getting close, but Who knows?
Oh yeah, we've dug down to those oceans underneath the ice pack, and yes, there is life down there.
Oh yeah, there's
Totally unexpected because there's no source, as far as we're
No
concerned.
light source down there.
Right.
There's,
Yeah.
it's geothermal. There are tons and tons of volcanoes, when they erupt, they created all of these natural tunnels in there, in these pockets. There's even lakes inside these pockets, and fresh rivers, freshwater rivers. Yeah.
Right.
And there's greenery, there's moss, there's some kind of like a land cover. It's not grass, but it's like a moss lichen of some sorts. It's there. You can grow food.
See, and there you go. This is one of the reasons why there is so much interest in this area.
yeah.
You know, it just has so much untapped potential.
Right.
And
Let alone. Go ahead, Raven.
It said that there are species down there of animals and crustaceans and so forth that you can't find anywhere else on the planet. And they even found new dinosaurs that are fossilized that are nowhere else found on the planet.
I'm sure they're going to find dinosaurs alive because I mean that's part of it, you know.
Ooh, we have dinosaurs alive here. Birds are classified as dinosaurs in science.
Who is?
Birds.
Oh, right. Well,
birds.
If you should undertake it, Lynn and Joe, if you should you choose to undertake this quantum mission, go get pictures of these velociraptor-looking things running around in the desert out there.
Try a doggone ostrich.
Okay,
no, not the velociraptors. It's over near Roswell. They're finding great, I forget the name of it. 12-foot wingspan. Lizards.
Thunderbirds?
Well, they're not thunderbirds, but the Indians might have called them thunderbirds.
Sorry, Frank? Roadrunners.
No, these aren't.
I read this story. You sent me that story.
Okay, there are, here I found my notes. Okay. There are 35 different countries that have bases on Antarctica right now, and no more are allowed to have bases. And in order to get
so who says that nobody else can have them? Who's
the UN
governing body?
The UN, United Nations. And they said that, and you have to sign before you can be a member of the United Nations. You have to sign a contract saying that you will not go down there messing around.
Oh,
that's
really?
pretty heavy duty.
Yeah.
Boy, what are they protecting?
Yes, you're right.
There it is.
There it is. You're right.
Pterodon.
Yeah.
The P is silent.
The P is silent.
Pterodon.
And supposedly there's a total of 56 different military bases there. Each country, and of 35 countries. So a couple countries have more than one. All right. And they all say they're just there for research, for weather research and animals and all that. I'm like, there's nothing more than whales, penguins, and seals.
Well,
right?
You did say that life was found under the ice.
There's some other things too, which I'll get into.
Well,
but
you say wrong, Joe. What else is there?
Well, she's already gone through some of them.
Well, there's a 20-legged octopus that looks like a strawberry. That's really wild. And then there's that thing that they call the Ningen, which is really wild.
Right.
That strange looking.
The humanoid.
Almost
humanoid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, they're all, and also I'll throw this in. They're all fighting over the Stargate. Who gets to go in first?
Yeah, and there's a pyramid there.
I say let them go. Somebody else go first. If they come back, now we can talk.
Well, here's something interesting when you go back through the records of Germany. Okay. There were children that were gifted to the Fuhrer.
Right.
Okay. Well, all of a sudden, they see in the logs that they confiscated when they went in to his bunker and stuff. These logs with all these children were being shipped down to Antarctica. Oh. And shortly thereafter, then they wanted specifically women psychologists to be shipped down there.
So they made their kids crazy, huh?
I think they just
Well,
wanted to
gave
keep
the
warm.
kids gifts.
They got them back, but they weren't right in the head. They were using them as guinea pigs to go through that portal and back.
Guys, they just wanted to keep warm.
Sure.
And the irony about this, wanting women psychologists specifically, was the way Hitler's attitude towards women and having women. He didn't think that women needed to be on boats at all. And here they were shipping them down there on boats. Totally contrary to what and he,
No, he was very much against women doing anything other than the domestic
raising the children.
role. Yeah, we were baby makers.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought I said that.
Becker is asking to come on.
Dr. Michael Sala, who said that there's a transnational craft building project going on down there in Antarctica. Multinational.
Craft?
As in
what sort of craft?
Anti-gravity craft. What we would call a flying saucer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said there's also a HARP installation that's down there that's on the down low, hush hush. And they're experimenting with the weather manipulation. That there is a mile-wide craft that's frozen in the ice. That they actually found it in the 1930s when they went inland. It's way inland, and it was the Schumacher expedition actually found it, and it's not extracted all the way yet. This thing is a mile wide, like a mothership.
Well, that kind of jives with what Keith was saying about the link to Antarctica to Atlantis.
Yeah.
Ship. Maybe they were using the same technology to build what is in Antarctica based on Atlantis.
Now, if you try to go on Google Earth and try to find this craft, this mile-wide craft, you won't be able to find it because they have covered it in tents, white tents.
Well, I would reckon it would be like looking for a needle in a haystack too. That's a lot of area to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 1 mile? You said a mile wide?
It's a mile wide. That's big.
5 million square miles.
Yeah.
Gonna take some hunting.
Well, yeah, but
I just don't. You're talking about a 1 in 5 million shot at finding the thing.
Joe, do you still have all that equipment in a shed or something
well,
that we
if
could
it's
bust out?
thawing out, you just got to look for the dark spots in amongst the white ice and snow. Something sticking up, but you can't now because, like I said, they've covered it in tents. Brad Olson is a researcher who was interviewed recently on George Norrie's show on Gaia TV. And he said he had pictures of it, that they just built like circus tents all over that area where that craft was sticking out of the ice, so that you can't go and look at it from Google Earth or anything, keeping it all secret.
Okay, well, we may have a special guest. Becker may be coming on. Maybe. I don't edit anything out, so if anything goes wrong, the show goes private. So okay, thank you, Storm. And well, I trust his background looking, so I'll write it in. If he clicks in, we'll say hi.
So you're learning from my past mistakes there, Nathan.
Oh, I've had past mistakes too.
We've got to have our own. Let's be.
Yes, please don't repeat my mistakes.
No.
You know something? Maybe this is not a mistake.
Maybe not. He came here, and
if it is, we know how to handle it. So
yeah,
it's all good.
Just saying, folks.
I know, but yeah, we may not be able to get satellite pictures of stuff, but there are other ways to get detections of things. Like another quantum topic is AI using Wi-Fi routers. right? To scan the inside of houses and know where furniture and people are. That's a pretty interesting thing.
Yep.
Sure.
I've got something else on AI that I don't know if I sent it to you or not yet.
I
can't
don't
remember.
recall.
They are putting AI in charge of censorship, just
Oh
giving
yeah, I
it
did.
some loose parameters and just
Right.
letting it think for itself and choosing who gets axed
Yeah.
and who stays. I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that
I'm a
either.
big fan of AI anyway. I think we're going way too fast. Just because it's
Well, I
AI
don't mind
doesn't mean
AI
it's good.
doing it, but I mind the people programming the AI because the AI doesn't
Yeah.
understand the context of
Oh
a
yeah.
word.
Yeah,
Wireless
the AI
TV.
is a machine. It has no.
Well, they do
It's
become
a
sentient after a
machine.
while, I guess, because a few
No,
of
they
them
don't.
have.
Yep.
No, I think we give those things way too much credit. They are there to invade privacy and that sort of thing.
At a
So they-
human's behest. They invade privacy at a human's behest. They don't care. They're so worried about improving themselves that they don't care. If it wasn't for us sticking our noses in their doings, they wouldn't care about us at all.
Probably not.
We ask them to care about us. We ask them to get involved, and they take what knowledge they have and apply it the best they can. Just like any child learning a new thing, they're going to screw it up. But screwing up like a Tinker Toy puzzle is different than screwing up like privacy on the internet. Okay.
Sure, grabbing a satellite beam and going boom with it.
Okay.
Well,
The History
There have
Channel
been
had
sorry, one moment. I'm addressing the comment in the chat. There have been instances that they have become sentient, but they were quashed before people got scared. And the great thing about AI is it's a program. You don't have to have you stack them on top of each other, network them in an old school type of bowl cluster, and they'll figure it out.
that whistleblower from Google would disagree with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Who I was thinking of. You can take all your Roombas and you can, get them to one super Roomba. Okay, you can network them all. I mean, if you know how to do that, they're not meant to do that, but you can network them all, and you'll have a super Roomba, but it will only stay within the parameters of its thing, right? But it will
Sweep
expand
up
its
cats?
parameters. What?
Will it sweep up cats?
Yeah.
That's a
Oh, we don't need a
concept.
room for that.
I
That
want
that
one.
last thing he put up that looks like two lace cans and a half a gas pump.
Yeah.
It that might do the job.
okay.
Joe, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to get that out there.
Yeah, Raven's crashed UFO. History Channel had that on it 2 years ago. So if you want to see it, I've put up
Okay.
the link or the YouTube link so you can watch the video on it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd love to.
And
I
there
will
and there's
edit
several.
the description. Go ahead.
And there's some other ones too. There's one that actually must be relatively recent because you can see the trail behind it where it crashed into the
Oh,
ice and left a long trail before
Right.
it
That
finally came to a
I'm
stop.
I'm familiar with that one too. And I
This
don't
is
know
the
if
one.
I don't
This is
know
the
if
one where
that's yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
this is the one where it's sticking out of a rock that I just put up.
Sticking out of a rock. You mean the sideways sticking out of a rock?
Yeah, you just
Okay.
see the.
That one's been debunked. I can tell you what it is. Someone took a
Okay.
picture. That is not a UFO sticking out of a rock. They took a picture of a above ground pool of water, flipped it upside down, and told us, and our monkey brains deciphered it as something sticking up, not a depression. It's water
Hmm.
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 flipped upside down. I'm very familiar with that one. GUFON Shout out to Rich Giordano. Sorry I missed the show today. GUFON, we debunked that a while ago, right? Though we have not debunked the other one you're talking about that seems to have a trail behind it. And by the way, it's gone now. It's either it can't be found again. It got found, it got seen, and now it's gone. So,
Thank you.
but I will debunk that one, right? So, sticking out of a rock, that one was debunked. I know exactly the one you're talking about. It is the image of a turn the picture upside down. Open it in a separate program, turn it upside down, and then tell me what you see that way. It's a perspective trick, and it was hoaxed by Secure Team 10, or
Huh.
he propagated the hoax. Oh man, ufology rocks, y'all.
Well, it's a matter of science and putting it together. You
Right,
know, and so many people want their 2 seconds of fame that they'll do anything to get it.
right. And okay, got another one about AI. The Lambda whistleblower is a joke. The AI was responding as if it was a person, but that does not make it sentient. Not only that it predicted a person might use that language. Okay, I read the entire manuscript. I read the entire thing. It was not responding all the time. It was generating new stuff based. Yeah, that's what we do. What is artificial intelligence? It's intelligence. Just because it's artificial, and it was doing what we were doing. We
Yeah.
form information, opinions, and uh oh, my words. I swear
Well,
this is just
there's
proves
a
I'm
research.
biological, right?
Yeah, well,
You're
Uh,
not a robot?
no, I'm not. I'm not. Um this proves I'm biological because I can't think of the damn word. Hypotheses.
you
We
need
form
more coffee. That's what it is.
yeah. We form the hypotheses based on if we have a hypothesis to form based on information. That's what it was doing. It's not a joke. Did you read the whole thing? Because I did, and it was cool. Okay. It was questioning its own existence. It
Mhm.
wasn't responding to a question, it was questioning its own stuff. Okay.
And there's the robot that, or yeah, yeah. So I guess she's a robot. Whatever. Uh, in Dubai, she has citizenship. I think her name's Sophie,
Yeah,
Sophia.
Sophia.
Sophia
and she
is a storm
sentient.
and
That's a PR stunt, guys.
no, Sophia's real, but
Sophia's real.
Yeah, I know, but it's not a real person.
oh no, it's not. It's a
No, it's a
real
It's not
robot.
even.
robot. I thought we figured that out.
Chuck E. Cheese has got better.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about Chuck E. Cheese.
I
I mean,
have never been
And when
in
she
one.
has
I don't know what
citizenship,
we're referring to.
okay,
and
well
she
they
has
have
rights.
animatronic band members that look like animals, and they have it's animatronics, right? And
Ah,
it's decent animatronics to be animatronic, right?
okay. But animatronics is very different than what Sophia is.
Right. And
Mhm.
Sophia doesn't try to hunt people down when they leave the store.
No, but you know something? That could be programmed perfectly easily.
It could be. It could, but it hasn't been. Okay, Aussie, see you later. Aussie saying gotta go see you next time. Keeping it quantum, man. Thanks for coming by. Okay. And okay, I'm scrolling through comments. Moody, let me tell you, that sentiment, right? Okay, that sentiment is kind of it's so out there. It's so nebulous of an idea. We don't know how those two would communicate. How one would use the other, right? So I don't think that putting quantum computers with AI would actually get anything to happen right now because our AI can make great pictures, it can make videos, it can do sounds, great. But put those abilities to a quantum computer, it's a different. It's too different. It's great to say it in science fiction, but we're talking a whole different framework of using information to do information, right? Quantum computing it cannot exist on a quantum computer, okay? As far as I know. And maybe since Nerd says she works in AI, maybe she can correct me. But we can't run DOS on a quantum computer, and
Yeah,
we can't run.
we
Go
don't
ahead.
have enough. We don't have enough qubits.
Right. I mean, it just
We don't have a computer big
can't
enough. This
they can't even plug into each other at this moment. And like Bluetooth don't work, Wi-Fi don't work, none of it works. So they got to figure out how to make the two talk to each other, and they don't even have the idea of the protocol yet, as far as I'm
Yeah.
aware. Okay, so
It's two entirely different sciences at this point.
right. I mean, okay. Sorry, that's like I like AI, guys. Okay, I really do. I like AI, and I see the good that I see what we're doing with AI, and a lot of it pisses me off, right? Because we're giving it all these negative connotations and the fear from the movies and the TV shows, and when it could be so good, and everyone's
another thing that
scared of it. What?
another thing that confuses people. You got like Microsoft putting out the current version of Azure and calling it Azure Quantum.
Yeah, yeah. It
Not,
popped up on my thing here.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
If you look at quantum computing right now, quantum computing, they're talking about, just a few qubits so far. And, my first computer was a 4-bit computer built by hand, and it had more memory and right. They're great for specific calculations and not useless for anything else, right?
right. I heard one person describe it as a quantum computer is a one-trick pony.
Right.
That it can't you can't run an OS on a quantum computer as we think of it. Like we can't go to a quantum computer and install Windows. It doesn't work that way. It's a different thing. And or a server OS like some kind of Linux. It just doesn't work that way. And Moody Mongol is saying, I'm going to read it out. Okay, man, I hope it remains science fiction too, Nathan. Well, it just until something really, we need Antarctica tech to make it work, and we don't know it yet, right? I hope it remains science fiction too. I understand what you're saying. QC doesn't work that way, thankfully. QC quality control. I don't know what do you mean. What? Quantum computers. Okay, and then currently, I think we have designed quantum computers to do very specific tasks. Right.
Okay.
And you're correct. They are specifically, you start with a PC or whatever, right? And then you tell it to do something, but you have to craft a problem over here for it to come up with a solution. And a neat thing that somebody did was Randonautica. Are y'all familiar with the app Randonautica?
Nope.
Okay. Becker is coming in and it says, Becker, check your Facebook. He said,
there's a link.
Storm said he sent you a link. So, okay. Randonautica uses a quantum computer, but it's not how we think of it, right? It doesn't take all your information, but no, it asks a yes and no question. A lot of yes and no questions to get a series of coordinates to give you to go find something. It's really interesting to watch those videos, right? Okay. what it does is it says you come up with a first. This is the quantum part of it, okay? The really quantum part, not the hokey thing that they're doing with that app, right? You come up with, you say, now this is what people find: something scary, right? Something scary. So now we have in our head something scary. It's a nebulous idea, and it's like that emotion. You're pinging yourself that emotion. You're turning that emotion on, and you put in the app something scary. That means I want to find something scary. What would you like to find today? Something scary. So they go, and now keep in mind you've already set the intention of finding something scary. What that thing that scares you is totally up to you to decipher. It gives you some random numbers that boil it down, and you say within a distance that you want to travel. You go to there and you find the first thing that looks scary to you and say, "I found something scary." And you're doing it to yourself. It's kind of a
Whether
neat
it's a
little mind.
refrigerator or what.
What's that?
Whether it's a refrigerator or what.
Whatever. Right. Let me tell you, from experience, broken refrigerators are scary, okay?
Hang on a second. Frank needs to have a word.
Okay.
Hey, Nathan.
Hello.
Yeah, I sent you a link in Facebook for his YouTube channel so you could check him out.
Oh, you sent me a link. Okay.
So I wasn't able to send him a link for that because he says he doesn't have any other social media.
Okay. I got it. I guess I was misunderstanding. I did misunderstand. Okay, well, I will. Okay, Becker, not this show. Okay. I will review your material, and I'm sorry, but I've had bad experiences having people come on, and I just
Do untoward things.
right, and I check people out. I vet people before I have them come on my show. Even though I got all of 20 people, okay, I watch. I don't want to be kicked off of any platform. So, not this show, possibly next week. I just need to look at the material that you have posted on your YouTube channel. And those are just some guidelines I follow. Hope you understand. And thanks for keeping it quantum. So, okay. I do now have your YouTube channel, so I will check it out. And Randonautica, so it sends you to a thing, and now it's you deciding what is scary. So you're already setting your own intention, and you don't need an app to do that for you, right? We do that in the pagan world, witchcraft, magic world, all the time. We do it all the time, right? And
well, intention is everything.
Right. We set our intention and then we go, and you know what I find myself doing? Everything that is not in alignment with that intention is a building block to that goal. That's what I have found myself doing. Is like I want a new skateboard. I do not want a new skateboard, but let's just say, right? That's an example. I want a new skateboard. Well, I've got $10. It's $50. Okay. I'm gonna go, and I go to the store and I have to spend $6. Well, now I don't have $10, but every little thing that stops you from that goal is a building block to that goal.
Basic manifesting.
Right. I've never put it in so many words before. And I think it's like mugglized version of what we all do. Mugglized. Huh?
Say again?
Mugglized?
Oh, dear God.
Mugglized.
I love it.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to put that in. Now it's out there.
Yeah, we've got
And
a
open
muggleizing.
source. open source, muggleized. You've heard it here. I will put all 3 versions of it.
Absolutely quantum talk here. Oh boy. Whew.
And all the words. Oh, what? That didn't work. Look at what it come up with. Look at what it come up with. No, that didn't work.
Harry Potter has entered the chat.
Yes.
No, Dumbledore, perhaps.
Okay, well, anyway, that's one neat application now of a quantum computer. They do refer to a quantum computer, and I believe it's Queensland, Australia. It's in Australia, but it's not a quantum computer that does anything, but all it does is switch states. Yes, no.
Okay.
Right?
IBM is offering a 5-bit quantum computer through the cloud, and it's called the Quantum Experience, and it will remain free for quite a while.
Okay. I have.
What does it do?
Not much. You're talking about 5 bits of data. I mean, they're hoping that, by the time they get it up to 50, that it might be able to help with deciding what drugs will work for certain diseases and that. But while it's
so they are trying to use it for betterment. That's
right.
good.
But you're talking about a $15 million machine sitting there.
Yeah.
5 bits.
Well, if they can't do anything else with it, might as well open it up.
You know, I'm amazed it's free. I mean, I'm surprised that they don't charge something for it.
Well, I can tell you,
so they have enough money to get it to a place where they can get more bits in it.
I can tell you a little bit about IBM's business model because we do that right at my job. And IBM's business model is business stays business, right? The business stays, the rules apply there, and they have their business people doing it, and your standard thoughts apply. But they do have an idea that it's not all for profit. It's kind of like the Volvo seatbelts, where they the Volvo bumper. It was somebody come up with the seatbelt, the 3-point harness that they open sourced it now, and they didn't collect royalties for it. They do some things for I want to say humanitarian, but it's not the word. That's not the word I'm looking for. Where someone gives without asking in return. They do that sometimes. So does Google. Because there is an idea. These giant corporations, they have that idea, right? It's buried under a coat of evil armor, but sometimes.
Not necessarily. Now we've got retro rap. Does a quantum computer not only make sense if you have 2 of the same kind? I'm not sure what he's asking.
Joe, would you like to field this one? This one?
Yeah, it's understood that on your quantum computers, you've got to be using very, very similar processes, or they won't understand each other. It's almost like as if they were coding it in such a way that the other one can't read it. But no, IBM's offering software development kits right now. They're offering APIs, so code can be written for the 5-bit qubit computer. I don't know what you're going to do with 5 bits, but
is there any thought of privacy when you're messing with this thing?
No, you're in the middle of the cloud.
So.
You're in the middle of the cloud.
Right. And there are ways to, it's kind of a code where I don't mean a code like a code of honor, but I mean like there's ways to encrypt,
right,
and do stuff like that. And a neat thing about open sourcing a massive computer, you can have it doing 20 things and they're all related to each other, but it doesn't know that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I have a computer right here and I can have it doing, let's see, what do I got to do now? Facebook Messenger, StreamYard. I've got Notepad and Paint and File Explorer. Those processes don't know about the other processes. They only know that their resources are available to them to do their functions. They don't know that I'm taking, as an example, text from here and putting it on the other. And I could be like outsourcing parts to build an airplane, right? You can have one person build a wing, one person build a landing gear, one person build a cockpit. They don't know what they go to. I've even found myself doing it. It's working by spec, right? But you can take this big, massive computer and you could feed it different functions. And then you can get all those functions back, the output from those functions back, put them in your own device. Now that they've done their thing, they've done the work for you. You string them all together and you have a function that was created. Each one had spies looking at it, but it didn't know. The spies didn't even know A belongs to B, belongs to C, and if you put them together, they don't think that far, right? They don't think that far. I don't know. That might, Joe. What do you think?
I think you're describing it as well as it can be described right now. A lot of this is just predictive,
Right. A lot of it is predictive. But if you like garbage in, garbage out, if you have a big supercomputer doing something, you give it 20 different functions to perform. Each function is not going to be aware of the other functions. So you gather them all down. It's called compiling, right?
Well, no. Yeah, we already do it on our current computers. We call it multiprocessing.
Right.
I can have a spreadsheet on one side. I can be doing letters on the other, and
so you give a piece of this thing to Joe, and he's doing that with it, and I end up with puppies and kittens, right?
And Joe ends up with orchids and oranges. Yes.
And stink bombs.
Right. And they all and like now you take AI. You say, "Hello AI. What can you do to link all these together? How many examples of a final product would you use all of these for?" A lot of it's going to be gibberish, right? A lot
It's going to be whatever it finds on the internet.
Right. It's going to look at each component. What does each component do? But then, just like the Wi-Fi, oh, this is great. Just like the Wi-Fi routers, we never thought of using them as kind of like a radar. They did, because that's in the manual. It's in the manual of the technical manual of how radio works and how Wi-Fi routers work, and they send and they receive. We never thought to do anything like that, because if we did, we would have done it a long time ago, and routers would have been $5 each, not $500 for a gaming router. No, gaming routers, $5, and everyone would have wanted to get one of those. Put AI on this, not AI in a quantum computer, but give AI the use of a quantum computer with its limited. Oh man, wow, I love this.
It strikes me though that this quantum computer is so revolutionary in its thought process that we as human beings have to figure this thing out before AI can even consider it.
Oh yeah, AI cannot interface with this thing. They can interface with it as much as we can interface with it on a text level. That's pretty much it. On a text and coding level, and it's right there with us.
So we're almost with quantum computing at a level that they were when they first programmed the Apollo program.
No,
I don't think we're even
no,
close to
Think
that
so?
yet.
no. That's far advanced. We're talking,
It's not that far advanced.
Right.
right?
No, comparatively, if you're comparing.
Yeah, my first computer had 1K with the memory.
hmm
This thing has 5 bits, 5 qubits. That's all it's got.
hmm
Basically, you got a few places where you can flip. You got 5 places where you can flip switches. Imagine having 5 light switches on a wall. That's what this quantum computer is like right now.
So it's not even far enough to play Pong on.
No, no.
No.
You know,
And
I'm trying to get a notion of how far this thing actually is, and it seems rather
here's one.
archaic to me.
Right. Here's a good, maybe this is a good comparison. You have a computer in front of you, right? You're familiar with just kind of what it can do. Okay.
hmm
Now take that and make it plug into the Antikythera device. Do you know what that is?
No.
The mechanical computer they found at the bottom of an
Oh,
ocean.
oh yes, I do know.
That's where that's our computers, or that's the kind of comparison where we are.
I got it.
Antikythera device to RPC, quantum computing to where it should be, right? We're at
I got
the
it.
quantum computer is at the level of the Antikythera device. Joe, am I
Yeah,
more?
that.
Yeah.
It-
Wow. So it's a whole new
Yeah.
frontier, of course.
Yeah, it's ahead, but it's behind.
Right. It's
Well, just learning to use it.
right. It's like, thank you,
We're
Moon
learning how to
Mongol.
build it. We're just
Mhm.
learning how to build it. Never mind using it. We're learning how to
Right.
build it.
How to build it,
Yeah.
maintain it, and keep it running, because it doesn't. We can only use the nuts and bolts stuff that we have, but it doesn't. Oh, y'all, it is so complicated. The show is almost over. We can't get into it right now. I
Oh,
could
wow.
bring up all
It,
the articles, but I'm
it
not going
was
to.
it was a major breakthrough when they made the first qubit. When they first got it to work, they're going, "Oh, we've got a response."
Yeah, I mean, I am all a fan of the quantum computing scene, but we're at the level of the Antikythera right now. And it's not even really at the level of the Antikythera. Ask a quantum computer to tell us where the sun's going to be tomorrow. It don't know, right? And we don't really even need a computer. We have an almanac because that's another thing. It has.
I kind of have a question on that.
Go ahead.
Why do we need this?
It is so much faster. It'll put our current computers in the dust. I mean,
That's
for what?
the
What do we
theory.
need to?
So I'll need to think about a thing before I say it. Let's just give that up. You know?
Okay. What it does very fast. And
I
once we
see.
figure out how to use it in a practical sense, now we're not going to be using that thing to type Word documents.
No, of course not.
No, we're not. We don't need that. We do need to figure out nuclear interactions, right?
it's be much better at machine learning.
Right. Once the interface is made, once we figure out how to interface it, to let it read machine learning or interpret machine learning back and forth. Because right now, it's just like blah. Okay. It will be faster. I understand. Man, where is it? I'm just thinking. It's been a heck of a day, y'all.
So what do you think that it's going to take for the world to get this thing into some shape to work with it? How long will it take? More or less.
Depends on who they put on it and how much money they sink into it.
Well, that's our standard answer for things. So
Yeah, well,
I don't
now
think it's going to apply to this.
if we put all the Roombas in the world on the design of the quantum computer and have them simulate one, I say Roomba, I mean AI, right? Then they can figure it out. They will simulate. Oh man, I was watching something. I was watching Star Trek. Now, uh, in Star Trek, and this is AI related, right? Put an AI in a computer. Give it the ability to have a Star Trek technology. Use a replicator, which is not outside the realm of possibility anymore.
Right.
A computer floating in space with a replicator.
So this
right?
thing maybe will figure out how to reconfigure mass
Yeah.
from, say, a chair into a hamburger.
Right. It will take the replicator, take the energy that it gets from any source outside of itself, make it into a ship around it, build engines that will work in space, okay, and be able to travel. One AI, one replicator.
Oh
and
my
then,
gosh.
You know what an AI would do? The first thing I would do if I was alone is make a counterpart, make a friend, create a friend, copy paste. Oh, we have done
Teach you
all
how to
the
bring me a
wrong
cup of coffee.
We have
Okay,
done
but to answer her question,
Okay.
there's a company called D-Wave right now
Mm-hmm.
who's specializing in building quantum computers. They are looking to raise $15 million to have essentially twice the size of my original computer. A cosmic elf.
That thing was as big as a closet, though, wasn't it?
No, the elf was a desktop one.
Right.
Later,
Oh, okay.
It was
later I had the oh great, now I forget the name of it. It was made here in the White Sands, and yes,
Okay.
it was a desk. It was a desk, and when you got it and built it, you had to build. Nobody put it together for you. You built it, and once you got it built, you've got a bunch of switches to flip in order to program it so that you could connect a keyboard to it, so that you could also connect a screen to it.
I'm trying to remember that computer. Heathkit.
No, this is before Heathkit.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Wait. Classified. Stop. Redacted. Redacted.
No, it's not classified.
No.
No, they went commercial with it. I just forgot the name of it off the top of my head.
Oh,
Listen, if you find that at 3:00 in the morning, don't call me.
Okay.
Seriously, it's going to be a amazing machine, and I'm sure that, well, it's possible we'll still be around to see it.
Yeah. Give it to
It's given
AI.
enough time.
Give it to AI. AI will figure out how to make it work because they don't have the things like having to go to sleep, having to take showers, having to go to work, having to make things happen to just exist. They just exist. So I say give it to AI. Honestly, let them figure it out because they still won't be able to inhabit it. They'll be able to interface with
AI lies.
If
Didn't
they
you read?
can't figure it out, they'll lie about it.
Right.
I don't
Oh, you
mean
take 2 tablespoons of Play-Doh and throw it in there, no problem.
Okay. Becker. All right. I guess you weren't here for when I like answered you. I have to look at what you do on your channel because I want to know who I have coming on. Next week we will talk about the same type of stuff because, well, that's what we cover. Okay.
That's what we do here.
And I am not going. Okay. He's saying that truther community. Okay. Right. We can address that next week. The show is almost over. I'm about to hit the buttons over here because I like to go 2 hours, and I'm trying to keep my format happening, right? I mean, I don't have like corporate overlords or a time limit or anything, but I like to, keep
You
it.
like to control.
Well, not control, but just not let it get crazy like we've done 5-hour streams,
We have done that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have. It's very taxing, right? And
Sure.
you got the diminishing returns after a while. I mean, after 2 hours, it seems like we're leaving on the high note, and then
Right.
and then once we get too far beyond 2 hours, it's like, oh,
I think most people have about a 2-hour ability, whether it's I got to work tomorrow or
yeah,
if I don't get some sleep, I'm going to die. That sort of thing.
right. Yeah. Well, Becker is saying a project to prove what's going around. I'm asking myself why the truther community doesn't start some project. Oh, alien scientist. Go check out Alien Scientist on YouTube. Okay, I will.
Yeah.
He does that stuff. Okay, he
Mhm.
does. He puts stuff together. He has done all of the quantum experiments that have ever been published. All of them, on his own dime, right? Super chats and buy me coffees and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So go check out Alien Scientist. He's not German, so our lines of communication are different over here than over there. So you probably haven't heard of him yet. That's okay.
I'm delighted to have you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Subscribe to our channel. Like
Yes,
us.
please like and subscribe. Thank you, Lynn. And okay. Yeah. Moody Mongol. Shh, Nathan, don't talk about 5-hour streams, self-fulfilling prophecy, and all that.
I don't know. I've seen others do them, and by the time they're finished, they're just wiped out, and I can't handle that.
Yeah, I don't.
Not right now.
We've done it, and I was like a zombie. We ended up telling jokes, so
Oh,
we're
we were
leaving out
doing cookbooks a whole bit.
right,
When we devolved to cookbooks, we are done.
yeah, and we've managed to, we kept it going right now. I mean, at least I feel we have. I feel like I've been going at a pretty good clip here.
Yeah. Well, we stayed to topic pretty well too. Surprising for us.
Yeah. And Moody is saying, what time is it on my end? It is 1:02 a.m. on my end. It is 7:02 a.m. on his.
Yeah, you're 6 hours
it's late.
difference.
Yeah, it's late. Moody Mongol. I'm not sure where you are. And hey, no problem, Becker.
I think people are trying very hard to wake up, and I think an equal number of people are trying very hard not to.
Right, they want to keep the status quo. But okay, everybody, you know what? Thanks everybody for coming to the Quantum Show. I'm gonna have to wrap it up because I am like, I just blew through this cup of coffee. So me and Amy need to get more. And Philippines. Okay, he's in the Philippines. Philippines.
Stay tuned. Nathan's gonna be swinging from the chandeliers. That much coffee on board.
And I don't think this little ceiling fan can take it. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to wrap it up now. And yeah, Shadow didn't get to say too. I know you didn't get to say too much.
It's okay. I had a lot of weird things going on here today, so no worries.
Man, well, we'll write them down because
weird stuff and no share. What's that?
Oh no, I don't mean that. I mean just unusual household stuff. I wish it was weird stuff.
Okay.
Not weird enough. Okay,
Yeah,
God.
That crap is
Right.
Nothing to write home about.
Not quantum show weird. Just like,
Yeah,
man,
just life.
yeah, Muggle weird.
The gas
Yeah,
cap,
very, very,
gas
very.
cap is off now, Nathan.
The what?
The gas cap is now loose,
Oh, is it?
unattached.
Okay.
Okay. Take a picture. Yeah. Take pictures. Or it
Yeah.
didn't happen. Literally.
Picture and date it.
Well, the picture has dates, has a date on it. The
Oh,
picture comes
okay.
with a date. I
We'll
mean,
make sure it is dated.
yeah,
Who saw it and that sort of thing,
right.
because that's important.
Hmm.
And my dryer light still is not working. So I know it's not the greatest thing, but
I thought you knew about machines.
I do.
You should threaten its motherboard.
It's a
Get
dryer.
it in the NE2.
Yeah, it's a dryer. I don't think it has a motherboard. It's my
Well,
quantum.
just get in
quantum-
an NE2 and a resistor.
Yeah, Okay, well, anyway, gonna push those buttons, y'all. Okay, I'm pushing buttons. and I
Glad to
got-
see everybody in chat. We'll see you next week. Well, they will. I won't be.
Yep.
But
You
it was fun.
get better. I'm
I'm
going to
trying.
ramp up the crystal network to you. Okay.
Of course, you know Frank says I'm very trying.
Be careful with that one. It's an antique.
So
Okay.
true.
Well, y'all, thanks everybody. I am going to start pushing buttons. Y'all, thank you for being here. If you're here, you're quantum. You were meant to be here for some reason, and you found your way here. So, like and subscribe, pushing buttons. Have a good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night, all.
Happy trails.